In Arcadia, California, there stands a unique landmark, a Denny's with a windmill, a reminiscence of the building's origins from a bygone era. And after a quick history lesson, I'm going to recreate it in Minecraft. The story takes us back to 1915 with the establishment of Van de Kamp's Holland Dutch Bakery. This iconic bakery quickly won the heart of Southern Californians, not just with their delicious pastries, but with their signature rooftop windmills. These windmills became a beacon for residents and travelers alike as the bakery expanded its presence across the West Coast. But as the 20th century rolled on, changes in ownership and the eventual bankruptcy of Van de Kamp's in 1990 led to the closure of these beloved bakeries, causing their iconic windmills to fade from the landscape. But not all was lost. Arcadia held on to its piece of history. Built in 1967, this particular structure combines Dutch and Googie architectural elements. For those who are unaware, Googie architecture was a popular mid-20th century Californian style, known for its exaggerated features designed to catch the eye. And in Arcadia, this meant an exceptional roundish building, crowned with the emblematic windmill. When Denny's took ownership in 1989, the windmill's fate hung in the balance. There were plans to tear it down, but a wave of public sentiment championed its survival. For nearly 3 decades, this windmill stood still, only swaying when nature willed it. But 2016 saw a revival. Denny's breathed life back into the windmill with a new motor, reinforced blades, and LED lighting for a touch of modern flair. But only a year later, disaster struck as the windmill's blades detached, tearing through part of the roof, though luckily nobody was hurt. It took some time, but by November of 2018, the windmill was restored. Unfortunately, there were only a few years of peace before the landmark was once again put into turmoil, suffering major fire damage to the interior in October of 2021, and it is currently still closed for repairs. One can only hope that this piece of Californian history will once again be open to the masses, as it does have a history of resilience. Now, onto the build itself. As I started in the background, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really means a lot to me, and I put a ton of work into these videos. So, I built this over the course of 5 sessions, totaling about 5.5 hours with the help of Zephyllus, who is actually from Monrovia, a city close to Arcadia, and might I add is the one who initially suggested doing something in the area. It was a very complex structure to recreate. We started off by working on the parking lot and sidewalks adjacent to the building, and then did a base outline by making a circle using the HCIL command, as it is a circular structure in real life. The roof sections were a little tedious, but once we had 1/4 of it down, we were able to replicate those exact lines to the other 3 parts of the circle so that it was perfectly symmetrical. We then worked on the windmill and the roof slope itself, both of which were pretty odd. I would end up fixing the windmill later on, so don't mind it looking a little weird for now. The slope was just a very annoying process, which I'm sure Zeph can also attest to. I think with the constraints we had, it did end up pretty well. From there, we began to work on some of the more ground level details. Specifically, we focused on the window detailing and texturing the grass, as well as outlining the other back area, which has a bunch of different AC units and that sort of thing. It was actually a little hard to see some of these details due to the ongoing renovation, as well as the fact that the 3D was a little messed up in this area, but we were able to use some older street view to help out. We also did some smaller street details like plants and the Denny's sign. After this, we simply did the street details on the other side, such as the street lights and lamps, as well as adding the final touches to the base of the building itself. I also did the quote-unquote industrial section with a bunch of racks and other things like pipes and AC units, partially thanks to some reference pictures that Zeph got in person for this build. The last thing I did was finish all the palm trees, add the shrubbery, and fix up the windmill before the build was ultimately completed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, check out my other 101 history videos, and make sure to see my most recent video where I built in towns suggested by comments.